Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2026. This is the Boring Enterprise Nerdletter Talk, the 1,754th edition, uh, brought to you by yours truly, Paul Moderman, and my, as always, partner in crime, Yelena Perfilieva. Um, where we talk about the things we're going to write about, and a lot of times other stuff too. Probably, there's a lot of times where like I'll talk about something and wind up not writing about it, or write about something I didn't wind up talking about, or whatever. But nevertheless, we're gonna hit you with some news and chat, and probably laugh and make fun of things along the way.
Yeah.
So, Yelena, please, give us the digest of what you're thinking about this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So let me share my stuff. So I have, we usually do like three subjects, three stories each. I do have one bonus content. So just curious also to hear, Paul, from you on this subject as well. But
Mm.
the first, so first subject is ABAP Cloud
Mm.
generally. So SAP releases what they call developer guide from classic ABAP to ABAP Cloud. Um, and I do have some some thoughts that I shared on LinkedIn that in terms of billing this exactly as it's named, being guide like from classic ABAP to ABAP Cloud. So assuming this is meant exactly for people like maybe myself who had like lots of
Yeah,
classic ABAP experience
yeah.
and now needs some guidance help to transition to ABAP Cloud. In that term, I don't think it does really good job, unfortunately. However, this document that exists and in SAP world, that's already usually major achievement because we have very low bar. So I think it's fair. Like, yeah, I'm sure people will get use of it generally. I just, since on this video, I think it's a good occasion to just slightly deviate maybe from like ABAP Cloud and this guide, because lately I've been looking at whatever SAP publishes about ABAP Cloud, and I'm beginning to think that I'm kind of I not sure I really understand anymore what SAP is calling ABAP Cloud. I thought it was pretty kind of relatively clear to me because it's like literally it says like ABAP for cloud development. And here, for example, like what is ABAP Cloud? Here it says ABAP Cloud is the ABAP development model to build cloud-ready business apps. So yeah, there's a lot of like marketing hullabaloo about life cycle stable and blah 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 blah. But
Hmm.
in essence, to me, that's like what it is. So, and
Yeah.
it's essentially largely based on ABAP Prep model, which
Hmm.
isn't really going anywhere. I don't think this is built like as a successor of ABAP Prep. It's been built like it's ABAP Prep plus like some kind of nerfed version of ABAP.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so there is interesting table here is that shows some differences like side by side between ABAP Cloud and classic ABAP development. In which case you can see that immediately ABAP Cloud is not very appealing
Yeah.
because it has less. Like like you can in classic ABAP development you can do ABAP Cloud there and you can also use standard ABAP. So I'm looking like you
Uh-oh.
know what it's
Do
like.
we do we have a new Coke thing going on here now?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know about that. Like this part like kind of looks nice to me. So and I just again I don't want to devolve into huge rant about this. And Paul, I remember I think you did a story like way ago, like maybe like years ago in our newsletter about this customer stories and just sharing from the customers and talking about what they have done
Hmm.
or rather not actually sharing what they have done. So this is recent. This is like official SAP, some kind of I guess press release or something.
Yeah.
So I keep that in mind. There is its heavy marketing language, but
Yeah.
I kind of scanned through this, and Bosch is an interesting company, especially Bosch Digital. I'm not sure how that kind of aligns with the whole like Bosch hierarchy, but this is like well-known established company.
Mm.
Nice. So they have adopted ABAP Cloud again. We're saying development model here and generative AI capabilities. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, And other than not really like reading through this and not understanding like what did you do like exactly with it, because I'm seeing in the same issues that you talked about before. It's like all right, so it talks about, so this is like cloud smart strategy focuses on, and this is SAPP, so this is like mention our solution A and make sure to mention our solution B and make
Yeah.
sure to mention our solution. This is like
Yeah. Yeah.
solution product galore.
Yeah.
But this is like, okay, gradually transform its business process to enable both on stack side by side systems. Okay, that's fine. They went with ABAP Cloud. Again, I just keep reading, and there is like AI capabilities. Again, I'm not even sure what they did with those. And quotes are like, it has empowered us to modernize our development. That's like you lost me like before this sentence ended. And just scrolling through, the only specific piece I found here, let me see if I can find it here. So, all right. So this is specific mentions, the only one that I found here. So it says we used to budget about 15 to 20% of developer time to do unit tests. Generating unit tests with our cloud has helped save time and effort. Like you couldn't do this without our cloud, like I don't know. And but and I mean I I think it's great that they adopted ABAP Cloud. I would love to hear more, but also I'm thinking there might be and there most likely is going to be a lot of this type of thing where you don't really need to wait for ABAP Cloud to do that. So
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff without it. So I mean it aligns with their specific strategy, but I don't want some other customers to read this and think like, yeah, let's do like ABAP Cloud, especially because this actually also mentioned somewhere specifically that they migrated to, yeah, there it is. So migration to as a private solution. So they didn't really have to do that like right away. It's still probably, if you want to be like cloud ready, cloud compliant, whatever you want to do that, more like cloud oriented, yeah, totally do that. But
Hmm.
also understand you don't like necessarily have to. Don't feel like this is holding you back from like something. So
Yeah.
so all right.
Yeah. This like uh, there's a lot of stuff going on here with this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, the new Coke versus Coke Classic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Also, like, man, even just thinking about Bosch itself, because like if you scroll up to the top of this story here,
Yeah.
um, the headline, 1,500 developers.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is,
what other companies have
yeah.
that scale?
Yeah.
That's, and I'm not saying that's bad. It's just
Yeah.
impressive
It's
and
yeah.
probably more than basically anybody else in the world
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest in the world, I imagine. I don't know for sure. But
Yeah.
like, uh, they have problems and things that like most customers do not have,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's for
Um,
sure.
yeah. So like it's super interesting. And I think somebody who is like maybe an ABAP person or had ABAP kind of as one of the tools in their belt, like a general SAP person. I still think the ABAP Cloud versus ABAP Cloud for development or whatever the like the language version versus the
Yeah.
environment where it runs kind of
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
still like confusing. Like I still have like
It's
a
yeah.
hitch step in my brain when I
Yeah.
read ABAP Cloud, right?
Yeah.
I think to
Yeah.
myself, am I thinking about the language version or am I thinking about the execution environment
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
ABAP, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's it's yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
All right. So okay, so that's ABAP Cloud for you. So next story is it's a little assortment of some new posts and news in Avapor. So so I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually mention this because I think everyone got their feel of this on LinkedIn. So there was very strange effect where the whole bunch of people, I saw literally dozens of posts on this, suddenly realized there is a new syntax for read table, which allows where
Mm,
syntax.
hmm.
And I have no idea. It's the news itself is like 1 year old, but there was. some kind of huge like influx of LinkedIn posts, and this person pointed out here that it's like everyone is like copy pasting. We can see the screenshot doesn't look very detailed, but everyone was just copy pasting from here. And yeah, I found the actual help article. So I mean, this is like nice feature, and
Yeah.
I'm sure many people don't want to hear about this for like 101st time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was just super weird. Uh, I don't
There's
know,
like a
happening. Yeah,
zombie virus
yeah,
happening with
exactly.
this. Yeah.
What the hell? And funny that it was presented like breaking news, like drop everything, like
Yeah.
ABBA process. Like I'm like I'm gonna use it maybe 2 times before I retire. I don't know. I mean, it would have been huge news like 20 years ago. 20
Yeah.
years ago, it would have been huge. But considering we're moving to ABAP in cloud, I
Mm.
mean, that's kind of yeah, losing momentum there a little bit. So it's just probably just get a nod or something.
Yep.
Then next news. So Alejandro Kinsbrunner. I saw his post where he promised to start creating a like vlog. I don't know. It's video log, video blog series about ABAP prep application, and his goal is to show real project and just step by step how he does it. I think it's a great structure. When he first posted it, like it's like 4 weeks ago, and he posted on LinkedIn, I think even before that, I looked and I was like, yeah, I've seen this. I've seen other people do that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna post series, and then we never
Hmm.
hear from them again.
Yeah.
I noted for myself a couple of those because I'm like, okay, that's interesting idea. Let me check like in a month if you're
Yeah.
actually gonna deliver, and we never hear. But they get like 500 likes on their LinkedIn post. But Alejandro, to his credit, actually delivered at least partially right now on this.
Okay. That's good to know.
So this post is in progress, and what I especially appreciated, he actually said these are literal like user stories. So like user story
Oh.
01, it's like this is what every piece is supposed to do. So this is great. It's so not only he's sharing like technical expertise, but also kind of project management experience. And this is exactly how it's done in like real projects.
Yeah.
And so he's only just kind of started on this, but he keeps updating this post and posting
Wow.
on LinkedIn as well. So I will probably circle back to this as well when this is done. Maybe to
Yeah.
highlight this again.
I
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't see this. This is like huge kudos to this guy for this.
yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah,
This is like, because I always think about this when I look at like examples and stuff like that. I'm like, this example is great because you get me like started, but like the first time I do this for real,
yeah,
my for real project is gonna
yeah,
blow this example
yeah.
completely
Yeah,
away,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And
This is amazing.
I kind of briefly scanned through his videos, and it seems very reasonable example to me. So, and
Yeah.
yeah, and if anyone wants to watch and provide some feedback to Alejandro
Oh my
in the
gosh.
video comments, then please do that.
This is
But
amazing.
this post, it's kind of central hub for all those artifacts. So bookmark this and then go back and check when Alejandro updates and posts more. So this is yeah, really nice effort. So Alejandro,
Mm,
shout out to you. Yeah,
huge shout out.
well done, bro. All
Yeah.
right, all right. On slightly less well done stuff. So I.
Uh-oh.
I'm catching some flack on LinkedIn for having some audacity to rain on the parade of SAP on this subject, but um, so this is about dual capability documentation chat. There is a screenshot which basically show what it does. So in Eclipse, you have this what is called dual chat, and
Hmm.
what you do, you ask questions about ABAP documentation.
Hmm.
And examples they have like how to use rep side effects, which is a good question, by the way. And here is like an answer. And the reason I'm not super psyched about this is first of all, it feels like a little little bit too little too late because it's hard to get excited about any chatbots in like 2025.
Yeah.
Again, like 10 years ago, it would have been like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, but like you already have like Joule for developers supposedly. Like why is this like thing even needed? And most importantly, for this tool for which so some team at SAP, they I guess they spend their time, they made the effort to develop this for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, what triggered this, but maybe they just did and they just decided to share, which is
Yeah.
fine. But it also at the same time presented like, okay, ask questions, find solutions to any development problem you may have. It's not going to solve any development problem for sure.
Yeah.
I can see that right now. So if that's how you want to announce it, yeah, I mean, keep in mind people are going to have expectations if that's how you frame it. But first of all, in order to use it, you need to have this SAP BTP ABAP environment 2511. And so this SAP, I hate this denomination. I hate this name. It's super confusing to me. And I think that's exactly what you meant when you
Yeah.
said, so that is ABAP Cloud. That is like a
That's
platform
yeah.
as a service. So
That's
that
like
is
ABAP
the other ABAP Cloud.
execution in the cloud.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's super confusing because it's like SAP BTP ABAP environment. It's like, what is it? I had to look it up because I keep forgetting like what this thing even is. And 2511 is very recent version. So here
Yeah.
25 is year, 11 is November. Who even has it? I don't know outside of SAP, but it is fine. I mean, for announcement, it always happens like that. That SAP announces something, but then you're like, okay, cool, but then you don't get to use it until like 2 years later or like one
Hmm.
year maybe. So usually I'm like, oh yeah, I remember like it was like back in the day, and then maybe I find the post and read it again when I actually get a chance to use it. It also does not explain, other than having this environment, if there are any other prerequisites. There is a link um, for some kind of documentation, and I clicked on it, but it explains just like purely mechanics how to use it. it the dependencies are not very clear, but because of the way how the document is structured, I do suspect that it will require also some kind of business AI subscription, some kind of SAP Joule in general, like as a product. I don't think that even if you have this environment and you have just Eclipse and you're gonna go and like open it, I don't think you're gonna get it like out of the box. But
Oh.
it is not specified anywhere explicitly. I could not find like exact prerequisites, but there are some hints in documentation that make me think that there probably are, which is
Mm.
again kind of a problem. It should be noted more specifically what is needed for this. It's this information frequently missing from the SAP from SAP. So and also it's like um I don't know, it kind of offends me as a shareholder that SAP just still kind of keeps spending time on this Joule stuff for developers and like explain like finding in documentation. There First of all, there shouldn't be a need for this in the first place. Documentation has a website, it has search button, that should just work. You shouldn't need a bot to do that. And I think, to be honest, at this point, it might sound really controversial, but I don't know if SAP they might want to invest for like Joule for consultants because it has much more scope. But in terms of Joule for development, I'm kind of beginning to think that maybe just kind of stop doing that altogether. And I can explain like why, because I found this post recently. It's from October, and I think you might have shown this or written about this before.
Yeah.
I definitely seen it before when it came out, but I just found it again.
Yeah.
And with this kind of context, SAP is like, oh my gosh, we have this bot that searches documentation and vomits documentation articles at you when you ask it something. And oh my gosh, and you probably need a subscription for it, and also super fresh system, and who knows what else. And that's what you're gonna get. And here is Marian in October, like giving you completely free stuff that can do essentially that and so much more. And to me, it's
and
like,
and better. Yeah.
exactly, but so it's like there is no other than being like official SAP product, there is no like swim lane, no like table side by side comparison in which I can say that whatever this Joule chat or even like Joule for developers, that it is like better than what this is. And at this point, I'm kind of, I don't know if anyone SAP watching this, dear SAP, focus on things that no one else can do. I
Yeah.
so I again I have no idea who was asking for this. Like, who did you talk to? Who were these ABAP developers whose problems you think you're solving? I don't know. I would like to know. I never get an answer to that. But it's like in terms of tools, like tooling, like we got it. We don't need you really to do that, I think, anything at
Yeah.
this point. I think there are
This
many, like even like Paul, like companies you work for, they probably also kind of do something along, I mean, not exactly these lines, but you work in this space. There are lots of
yeah.
partners that work in this space, lots of like enthusiasts. Like we got you, bro. Like we got this covered. We can do that without you. So
Yeah.
you go and you focus on what only you can do, like APIs or actual functionality that works or actual stuff that's sitting there on influence website. Just do that. Like forget about
Yeah.
like stupid stuff that someone did better, cheaper, faster than you already. Like just drop it. So yeah,
I like because you mentioned this, and I try not to use. I don't want to use Boring Enterprise Nerds as like the soapbox for the company I work for,
yeah,
except to say that yeah, we do that, and we do it better. But I don't
yeah,
want. I'm like, and I've
yeah,
done comparisons. I made a video that's private for our customers to look at, so I'm not going to show that
yeah,
here,
yeah,
except to say it's in the same ballpark as what you're saying.
yeah,
Except to say to that I agree with you here, right?
yeah.
The other thing is like while you were talking about this, I quick pulled up my browser that I had my stuff up on,
Mm-hmm,
and I Googled that same question,
mm-hmm.
and like I got the right answer. Like I got the thing
Yeah,
I want.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
like
people were saying, "Oh, well, I posted some feedback on this. This is like not even good answer." And people like, "Oh, well, this is like hello world." But that is a problem with how SAP is informing us about this stuff.
yeah,
Like, why didn't you do like amazing videos showing all the amazing functionality and share it with us? If
this
this is
is
amazing product, then show it. Show it.
I
And yeah,
the thought in my head because when I did that, I was like ugh, just like exactly what you're saying. If you're gonna show something, show a more interesting example
yeah,
because it could be the case. I don't know. I don't have my Joule chat thing open right now. It could be the case that there is some other piece of this that is interesting about this because maybe the question you want to ask with this docs thing is more than just how do I do X, which I think we all know exists
yeah.
on documentation or Google will find instantly, right?
Mm,
No rag needed. Google will do it. Um, the the um the thing is that like maybe there's a maybe there's like a dragon sitting behind the rabbit
yeah,
here, but you should
yeah.
show the dragon when
Yeah,
you show the
yeah,
demonstration,
yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree completely. And it's like, again, people are saying, oh, I get it. I don't like people being like negative about something all the time, but we cannot always be positive for no reason whatsoever. That's, I think that's sycophancy. That's not helpful either.
yeah,
And it's fair to say that's what you shared, that's what I'm reacting to, and this is not impressive. Sorry to say,
yeah,
that's what I can say about this. That's just the fact. If you want to have like more positive impression, if you want to leave more positive impression on people, then show more. That's just as simple as that. So
yeah,
so back to SAP, guys. If you really want to be serious about and expecting like some kind of enthusiasm, then show what it actually show how amazing it is. All
yeah.
right. So let's moving on from SAP subject. So my short story will be like bonus, like non-related to SAP or anything. It's going to be about the names. It's probably going to be a very short one because so Paul is lucky to have, nice, what's like typical like Anglo-Saxonic name, and the
Yeah,
only
like
problem I think.
everybody in the world knows somebody named Paul. So like you're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And even your last name, it's like the worst you can do is probably have like one D instead of two,
Oh yeah.
and
Like it doesn't
that's
even
like, yeah,
the space of pronunciations of my name is like there's like two. So it's
yeah,
fine. I don't
yeah.
even care. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got lucky in this area, but
Yeah.
there are people like me
Yeah.
who were blessed with like the terrible name. And I mean it's an okay name in Russian language, but it's being spelled in a very strange way for English language. I get a lot of misspellings.
Yeah.
However, so this is quote from Dale Carnegie, and I learned about this not from reading the book, even though I read it before in Russian, even. Um, but it was we had a special session when I was sent to the Dale Carnegie Institute course about communication, and there was a whole session devoted to this subject. And I think it is quite important, exactly for the reason that this quote says, that the person's name is to that person
Yeah.
the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And that might be slightest exaggeration, but to the person, respecting their name, I think, is more important that they themselves would probably admit publicly.
Yeah.
I can tell you that absolutely zero people, no one in the world, loves their name being butchered in any way.
Yeah.
And while I think it's okay to be confused about pronunciation, because there are different languages, different like origins of the names, and they
Yeah.
sometimes take on like different sounds. And by the way, on LinkedIn, I think it's a feature in the app only, unfortunately, where you can actually add the sound to your profile
Oh yeah.
with and sound how you say your name. I
Hmm.
think it should be more widely available, by the way. I don't think, I don't know why it's not like kind of mainstream. Um, but I do see people just, and I don't know if it's just not paying attention at all. And that's, I think, is a problem. We should be paying attention to the names.
Hmm.
But I see places where like you're literally replying to my message and my name is right there in the profile and you get it misspelled like two different like ways. Like how lazy is that? And how like just like what, and most importantly, what impression does it leave of you? Because I'm always honestly and maybe I'm slightly biased because I'm kind of on the receiving side of this of these travesties. I every time I'm sweating bullets and I'm like looking at the spelling and I'm making sure that I got the name right with any special like characters if I can,
Hmm.
and that I do not miss. And I'm
Hmm.
terrible with the names, like memory wise. I constantly confuse the names that have like similar, like they
Yeah.
start with letter like S and have like some special
Yeah.
like letters in them, and there are like variations of that. Like for example, if for some reason in Russian very popular names are like Vitaly and Vladimir, and for some reason I just confuse them all the time. That's what
Hmm.
happened. But in this day we do have this help from the screen where I'm talking to Vitaly, I would see his name right there. And if I don't, I can go and look it up. So it is more easy in chatting, like in Slack or on Teams or on LinkedIn, wherever, to see the name and not make mistakes. And all it
Yeah.
takes is just a little bit of effort. So that's pretty much going to be the
You know,
shortest story ever.
this is something I didn't realize at first until I started working more directly with people in this profession, in this particular profession. But like, I have noticed that just about every person that I work with or know who works in sales will call
Mm,
me by my name more often
yeah,
in conversation
yeah,
than other people. And that is
yeah,
because they understand this,
yeah,
whether it's intuitively or whether they have like, like
yeah,
learned the Carnegie stuff or whatever. Like everybody I know who works in sales will
yeah,
repeat my name to me in conversation.
yeah,
And I actually like a little part of my brain like tracks that when that
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it totally makes sense. Like I do have that little tingly, like, ooh, that is my name. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
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 Like it's
Yeah.
like it's completely true.
Yeah, and it kind of picks your like attention like
Hmm.
immediately as well. So when you're
Yep.
getting called out, and it's
Yep.
actually it's a good tip to help remembering people
Yeah.
names that I learned from the same course. That's when you, for example, when you let's say you're being interviewed by a team, and there is like five, I know, six people, and they say, okay, this is like this, like Paul, this is like Emmy or
Yeah.
whatever. When you do, you greet them, you repeat that name back
Yeah.
to them, and it helps you
Yeah.
yourself to commit it to memory.
Yeah.
So when you talk to them, and yeah, then you don't mix up Vitaly and Valery like me. All right. So bonus. Okay, moving on to bonus content. This is not really new. This is like from November, like Tech at Aftermath, and
Mm.
Thomas Rice always has actually pretty good blog posts
Yeah.
about like
I like his
Fiori
stuff.
UX. So I like his stuff too. But this one, it's not like nothing personal against Thomas at all. So he shared this about like SAP design system, and I've heard SAP talking about this like before, and I do know that there is a like short video here as well, and I do know that SAP Fiori is actually it's not like language or anything. It actually supposed to be like design system,
Yeah. Yep.
but now SAP is talking about this SAP design system. I think there is there is a diagram, and I'm looking. It's like so Fiori? Because I don't understand like what else is there really.
Mm.
It's like okay, Fiori's here. I don't know what products that's like dragons, very nebulous.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this even means. Like what like I don't understand what it's supposed to mean. This is all Fiori again. And some kind of design language, which I understand even less what that means, like it's like sitting like at the top of bottom of all. So I honestly I'm just scratching my head, and I was like, well, what like is this like rebranding for Fiori? It's so this is this like ABAP Cloud but for Fiori essentially? Is this like there is Fiori and a little bit more, and
There's
we're
Fiore
gonna call it
Classic.
is it like
Yeah.
yeah Fiori Classic and Fiori Cloud? It's like what is the deal with this? And so I don't know, Paul, if you have like any ideas on this, but check this out. So there is link to a recording of this session,
I
and
need to watch this because this
yeah,
is I missed this post from Thomas, so I this
yeah,
is not something I've thought about because I used to do like tons of like Fiore
yeah,
specific work,
yeah,
right? A
yeah,
couple books out there I've written that have Fiore stamped all over them. And um back then I always thought of it as like, a UX design language
yeah,
plus, under
yeah,
the covers, at least in SAP
yeah,
side, there's a some technologies there too, right? But
yeah,
when you start like that diagram you just showed blew my mind.
yeah,
I was like, what? I don't even know what's happening. So I need to read this post and look at. I probably need to watch this video here too because like
yeah.
that doesn't make sense to me at all at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and also, so I didn't have time to watch this video, and to be honest, some feedback to SAP, maybe just pause this on YouTube. This video player is terrible. I don't
Mm,
see like my typical YouTube controls or like to speed it up or something.
mm.
However, what I wanted to show here, actually not maybe the video, but super interesting comments here. So this is a stream of like Q&A as this session was happening, and I just looked like through the top and get like a chuckle out of it. So the first one's reasonable. Is there going to be any further integration with Analytics Tool Designer? So that's a reasonable question, because you're saying you have like global SAP design system, and that SAC, that's SAP product. Is it going to be subject to this design system? Is there going to be unification? That's a good project. But the next one is Joule going to be embedded in SAP GUI as well, or can it only be in theory? And Guy posted this twice. So that's
Oh,
obviously like burning question for them, and I just almost lost it. And I'm sure someone at
oh
SAP was
no.
like, listen, it's like, oh, it's like these people, that GUI people, like. But then,
Oh,
but then like more maybe reasonable questions. So this one is like, will AI tools be effective in developing complex UI applications that require interactions with existing APIs and or existing DB table? That's a good question, I
That's a good
think.
question.
Yeah, the next one is the next one is where I just lost it. Why do we have always to push the go button on every Fiori table screen? Why is there no auto refresh? Like, bro, I hear you. The
Uh,
number of times we got this complaint from the user, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. That's how SAP does it. I know it's incredibly stupid. I find this incredibly irritating myself. And I run into this problem. I don't do that much with Fiori as a developer, even less. I'm not business user. But every time I have to, and Fiori used in many like SAP websites, in many like apps or something. And
mm.
every time I see this, I'm like, I did my filters. Why is nothing happening? But they're like, oh shit, this is a stupid button I need to push. So Thomas, whoever you are, thank you, bro, from the bottom of my heart. Oh, and it was like answer it. Answers. Behavior can be confused. So I don't know. Maybe there is finally some kind of yeah, some kind of remedy for this. But yeah, that's but this is where I just kind of
uh,
lost the plot.
that's
Just
that's hilarious.
this is
Oh my
good. I was
gosh.
yeah rolling on the floor laughing. Oh
Okay.
man.
Let me share my stuff here. This wasn't what I was gonna do, but
Yeah.
this was my Google adventure into
Yeah.
like literally how do I use rap side effects.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
shout out to our buddy Bjorn whose
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
shows up second here.
Yeah.
That is probably the one I would
Much
rather
better.
read
Exactly.
anyway. I would rather
Exactly.
probably read Bjorn's than SAP's documentation thing.
Yeah.
But and go hey, go buy his merch too, guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bjorn. We'll be looking for the referral check in the mail anytime soon here for the merch that we're about to sell. Um,
And by the way, sorry, before we move on from this
yeah,
completely, if that bot actually was like, you know what, there is like this documentation crap, but there is like non-SAP resource that actually explains this better, that is something that I would buy. If it was like honest and give me best
yeah.
quality, more like concise, more specific answer out there. That would be awesome, but that's
hmm
not what it does apparently. All right,
That's
sorry.
that's probably not going to be a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not on the top of the
Yeah,
feature
yeah,
list.
not a user story that's been prioritized.
Um, okay, so I think maybe many of us have seen this chart.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
I've seen it.
Stack
Yep,
Overflow
yep,
usage over the years.
yep.
Um, and we can see that we have now almost come full circle on this stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and it did it's like a very nice, it's a very sort of nice arc, right? Like I don't know, maybe nice isn't the right word, but it's like sort of almost a clean arc, right? There's a
mm,
what is this like 15, 16, 17 years that just
yeah,
goes we go up and then we come back down at roughly the same pace.
yeah,
Um, there are apparently like Stack Overflow Enterprise things where you can run your own Stack Overflow for your company and do things like that.
mm,
And I think that's pretty cool.
mm,
But clearly the last few years have seen a number of things kick their legs out of the under the chair of Stack Overflow in the world.
yeah,
It used to be the case that like because I remember the left side of this chart very well when Stack Overflow first appeared, and all of a sudden all the things that I just was like I think I'm just never going to solve this. All of a sudden I could solve a number of things, and now it feels like the same thing has happened. It's just no longer Stack Overflow that's doing that for me,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So this is like maybe a love letter, but also like a eulogy to Stack Overflow a little bit, I guess, which is
yeah,
thank you for all you did, and I'm sorry to see you go, but I think your time has come, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah. I wish I had something smarter to say, but I bid thee farewell, Stack Overflow.
yep.
It's been a couple years since I've used it like in earnest, but still, it doesn't happen anymore. There was even SAP folks who used Stack Overflow, and they would post
Yeah,
ABAP
there
and
was like a
UI5, and
small like
yeah,
area, yeah, like
and
Stencil
it was
poster.
useful, and like
Yeah,
now and again, if I still find myself Googling something versus chatting it, whatever, I mean,
mm,
I use both.
yeah,
Um, uh, like Stack Overflow still has very quality answers for things. So it's not like
Yeah.
this is interesting too because it's like this is so maybe the interesting observation here is that this is the like number of questions that are like posted to Stack Overflow,
Mm.
right? But like this does not, I don't think this quite represents yet the relative usefulness of the information
Yeah.
that was created, right?
Yeah.
The information that was created and still exists and still gets found, that chart has not dropped to zero. That chart has is still, you know, maybe at the peak or a little bit below the peak of the peak, but
Mm.
it's still out there. You still find it and you still can
Yeah.
use that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and the AI, all the AIs, I've also learned it by scraping it and stuff. And now Stack Overflow sells this stuff to OpenAI and Anthropic
Mm.
and blah, blah, blah. So it makes complete sense that they are getting like really good revenue from the AI companies who use this
Yeah.
information to
Yeah.
make ChatGPT and Claude and all this kind of stuff. So good on good on them. And thank you everybody over the years who used this to make stuff. And now your work has gone elsewhere, I guess. Yeah. Um, I wanted to resurrect this shout
Mm.
and
Mm.
this like
Yeah.
what I want to call like exhortation or pleading for I I think the time is not yet come that we need to stop doing this. I think we still need SAP developer surveys, even if the numbers weren't great. Maybe that might be why it kind of stopped happening. This was the posting about the survey itself, and I still don't think they
Yeah.
ever push results for
Yeah. I
this.
don't think so.
But like, I mean, shout out to Riley. Like, this is good stuff. Riley's analysis of things, I always loved reading that stuff. He
Mm.
probably has somebody help him put things together. I'm not sure. But like, I think this information is still useful, and I think it's especially useful now in this world of like we're in for a few years. I mean, we already have been. We're in for a few years of like SAP shaped people like transitioning their skills into like a
Yeah.
relatively new world.
Yeah.
And this helps people, right? This doesn't just help SAP. I think if you pay attention to this and you look at the trends and the things over the last few years, it can probably help you too as somebody who
Yeah.
reads this stuff.
Yeah.
So, both a shout and a plead for this to come back in some way. And maybe there's a community solution to this. I don't know. Maybe the community should start doing this.
Mm.
I don't know if there is such a thing as the community really, but like
Mm.
something should happen, I think, as regards this. Maybe there could be slices of this. Maybe ABAP could do things like this.
Mm.
Maybe SAP Insider or whatever
Yeah.
at their various
Yeah.
things like, but I still think we need this stuff
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just
I think,
doesn't
yeah. I think it
happen.
would be interesting
Yeah.
to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I just kind of like maybe I'm too inside baseball on this, but I just miss the information, you know.
Yeah.
Um so there's that. And then the other one I'm going to talk about is so we talked about MCP.
Mm.
Um and we've talked about it a couple times and that came up in the post with Marion that you showed.
Mm.
And I've done a couple stories over the last year or so about MCP things popping up.
Mm.
This agent skills is like a complementary thing or
Mm.
like an additional thing that bears a lot of resemblance in some way to MCP, but is also finding its own way to be useful in different ways.
Mm.
And so I think people, and this is so just as an FYI to people reading this, this started out as an Anthropic thing. How do I make this turn back into Anthropic? Yeah, started out as an Anthropic thing, but this has become like a an open spec or something like that, so that uh, agent skills are a thing. Oh yeah, here we go. Agent skills is an open standard for cross-platform portability. Yeah, and so now you can see that other companies like OpenAI, I believe Gemini or Google Gemini, are using this same thing. And what agent skills are is this the best? Yeah. So this is kind of an interesting thing. This is like because we all know that like in LLM land, in chatbot land, you have a limited amount of context to work with when you're chatting with stuff.
Yeah.
A skill lets you, as somebody who's making the tools either for yourself or other people, lets you jam additional information that is specific to your company or specific to your processes or specific to your tools into the chat experience or the language model experience. Maybe there's an agent doing stuff in such a way as to not eat up a lot of the context unless it's needed. So, for example, let's see, you make a skill and you describe like here, this description here, comprehensive PDF toolkit for blah blah blah. That little blurb right there at the top, that's all that the agent sees at the beginning. And the agent decides at runtime, oh, the user is asking me about PDF stuff. I should go read some of the rest of this stuff. Right? So you're still telling the agent that the agent has like extra skills, but you're not like clouding the agent's judgment with like a bunch of different things that are just like smashed in there.
Mm.
And so in principle, and this is something that I've done, in principle, you could make a skill that has like tens or dozens or hundreds of like extra reference materials that are available to it that the agent, because the agent can like unpack the skill. So like if the agent decides that this PDF skill is a useful thing, it will read this part first. And then based on what the user has said, maybe I also need to see the advanced thing here. So then I'll open this one. Or maybe I need to see the forms thing. I'll open this one. So you can cram in a lot of stuff, and the AI can decide which things to bring into its context window. So
Mm.
you're not just like dumping the entire garbage truck of stuff
Yeah.
onto the AI, because the AIs get confused when you do that, right? If you put
Mm.
like a million tools into a chat or a million like you copy Moby Dick and you say, teach me about ABAP rap all into
Mm.
one prompt, the AI is going to get confused, right?
Yeah.
But this is a way to sort of segment things out and build out really powerful and appropriate context for the AI to do stuff. And this is something where you can do this without having to like build, for example, an MCP server, right? Your skills can just be text files that teach the AI about your company or your whatever, that the AI can then read for itself and decide which things to do. This is gaining a lot of popularity in the AI in language model land. Um, and the other interesting thing too is that like for things you can provide examples or even provide like literally this is the code you should run when you do this because a lot of AIs now have like a code environment behind them,
Mm.
right? Where they can run a little code snippet. And in the skills, you can provide the code snippet that says, hey, when you do this, here's the code for it. When
Mhm.
you do this, here's the code for it. And like, I think this is going to be continue to sort of blow up more and more. And where we saw like lots of people getting really excited about MCP kind of late last year in terms of like the things popping up, I think this could even has the potential to go even further than those things.
Mm.
So just pay attention to this skills stuff out there in the universe. Um, yeah, okay. So those are my things for this
Okay.
issue. I'll be talking about the Stack Overflow, the agent stuff or the skills stuff, and then weeping and crying and pleading for uh developer survey to come back in some way. Um, So with that, everyone, we here at the Boring Enterprise Nerds, we hope you enjoy this. Please like, subscribe, share, send money, send food, send a drone with a pizza to our houses, whatever you want to do. We
BCP
appreciate it.
subscriptions.
Yeah. Buy a platinum subscription to Boring
Yes,
Enterprise Nerds.
business AI
Um,
credits.
and we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.